Hello everyone, Matthew Hawkins back again with another video, and welcome to part 2 of my top 53 Super Bowl commercials of all time. It's my top 53, not yours. This is picked 43 to 34, so let's get on with it. Number 43, Best for Fred, Budweiser, Super Bowl 34. Now this one you think is one of the weird ones, you know. Budweiser having a slight humorous spot. Obviously, this was at the height of their "What's up?" campaign, with the slight humour into their commercials. Now, you think it's, you know, a dog owner talking about his dog, but then you realise it's actually the dog is talking. I thought this was absolutely amazing. I don't know what I liked about this advert. I just know that I liked it. I thought it was really good. Again, it was one of them I often go for. A lot of these on my list, on this list, is ones I go to for. If I want a good Super Bowl advert, these are the ones I often go to. And you know, it's what's best for Fred. You're thinking the best dog. You know, if it's a dog owner and you're saying about his dog, you know, it's the best dog food. You know, the best treats, the best vets. But no, it's about the owner, not the dog saying about his owner. The best beer, which is a Budweiser. So not much real to say, but number 43, it's Best for Fred, Budweiser, Super Bowl 34. Number 42, Healing Fish, Doritos, Super Bowl 45. Yet another Super Bowl 45 commercial. What can I say? Like I said, it's got a bit of sentimental value to me. That was the first one where I really watched a lot of the commercials. And this is one of them that I also did not think was one of the best of that Super Bowl. But if memory serves me correctly, NFL.com also said this in an article on their website of some of the best Super Bowl adverts. So what it is a house sitter, and he's like, oh, well, you know, it's to feed the fish, water the plant, and, you know, it fast forward to the day of when the person's coming back. So this is the dead fish, which he then puts Doritos in, and the fish, you know, is back to life. The plant, he feeds the plant Doritos, it's back to life. So, you know, and cleaned up, and then until he spills the ashes of his mate's dead grandfather, he puts Doritos on there, and his granddad's back to life. And to the shock value of his mates. I thought it was quite humorous. I thought it was insane. It was obviously it was a fan-made commercial because it was at the time Doritos were doing the Crash the Super Bowl contest where they was getting a regular consumer to come up with a Super Bowl commercial. It's a very good idea. So for whoever the guys who came up with that and submitted that, very good. You've made this list, so winner, chicken dinner. Number 42, it's Healing Fish from Doritos from Super Bowl 45. Number 41, Ultrasound, Doritos, Super Bowl 50. From Doritos Super Bowl adverts from 45 to 5 years later, Super Bowl 50. Now, this is one of them I found very funny. Like with one you'll see later on in this countdown. Don't know when, so watch this space. You know, I remember showing it to a couple of friends of mine the next day, I believe. You know, so it's basically, you know, well, I'll give you a background where you've got a couple, you know, having an ultrasound, and, you know, for an expectant mother having the ultrasound, and this expectant mother's not very happy that her partner's eating Doritos at the ultrasound. Reminded me of a bit of a friend of mine. His ex-girlfriend hated it when he was eating Doritos on PSN. You guys know who you are. I ain't gonna say your names to protect your identity. But you guys, and I immediately said to Ginger 42 when I saw it, could you imagine if they got that far? And then about a week later, they broke up, sadly. This is one of my favourites. It's one I like. I really enjoy. I really find it funny. And I had a good laugh out of it with my mates in the process. So, good job, Doritos, or the consumer. Obviously, I'm not sure. I think it'll say somewhere around here whether or not this was during the Crash the Super Bowl contest. I think they've stopped it now. Yeah, number 41, it's Ultrasound by Doritos from Super Bowl 50. Number 40, Air Jordan, Nike, or Nike, whichever you prefer, Super Bowl 26. Now this one definitely did plant the seeds for Michael Jordan's feature film, Space Jam, which is in the hearts and minds of every young basketball fan from the 90s. The greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, rocking his Jordan brand. You won't be able to see it on the camera. And you see right here from the old Clear Vision, who used to bring us officially licensed NBA DVDs back in the day. I believe this was also directed by the same guy who gone to direct Space Jam. But this planted the seeds definitely, because Michael Jordan is teaming up with his partner in Space Jam, Bugs Bunny. Watch up, Doc. These two were teaming together in a basketball game. A little basketball, in a pickup game in the gym. Obviously, they'll be teaming together a couple of years later in the film Space Jam. Very humorous again. What do you expect from the Super Bowl? I mean, one of the many great commercials Michael Jordan has done over the years. And this obviously planted the seeds for Space Jam as well, its sequel the following year. I don't know which one. I think one of them was directed by the director of Space Jam, it'll say here. I believe this is one. I don't know if both of them were. I think I'll have it there. So, number 40, it's Air Jordan, Nike, or Nike, whatever you prefer, Super Bowl 26. Number 39, Dog Strikes Back, Volkswagen, Super Bowl 46. Now, the sequel to one of the most iconic Super Bowl commercials of this past decade, the Volkswagen advert from, surprise, surprise, Super Bowl 45 with the Darth Vader one. This was its sequel. Mainly I liked it for the ending, really. Very good advert. They do the commercial, but it's the ending that does it for me, where they're in the Star Wars cantina with the infamous music. Because obviously you had Darth Vader, and I think you had, well, if I remember from the Family Guy parody, Pig Nose and Scots. But either way, yes, at number 39, it's the Star Wars cantina from Volkswagen, Super Bowl 46. Number 38, Rescue Chevrolet Silverado, Super Bowl 45. Speaking of 45, this is one, again, that has got a lot of sentimental value. I found it quite funny. I mean, you got to drive a self-driving car with this family's kid in danger. He fell down a well. He got trapped in a cave. And apparently got stuck in a volcano. Apparently his dad did not know there was a volcano. I mean, that was quite funny, to be fair. That was funny right there. And with the Chevrolet Silverado, he's managing to get it done. So, not much to say. 38, it's Rescue Chevrolet Silverado from Super Bowl 45. And number 37, it's the 80s called Radio Shack Super Bowl 48. Now, adverts from Super Bowl 48 by far was better than the game itself. I had the displeasure of watching the game. It was honestly painful. And this advert was one of the reasons why to keep watching, even though I didn't watch the American coverage, the full-on American coverage. I mean, if you're a big fan of the 80s, this advert was definitely for you, with a massive view. The 80s called Radio Shack, was supposedly out of date. You had Hulk Hogan, the DeLorean time machine, Alf! Anything that screamed 80s supposedly was in this advert. Hulk Hogan, well, actually, less said of him the better, because what came out just about the year after. Well, WWE, since forgiven, should we do so too? And I think you even had Terminator as well. Very, very humorous. I thought it was just the insanity of just everything in 80s, the most 80s of 80s icons. So yes, number 37, it is the 80s called Radio Shack from Super Bowl 48. Way better than the actual game. Number 36, Mean Troy, Coke Zero, Super Bowl 43. Don't you worry that its predecessor will be on here. Stay tuned for that. Maybe not this episode, but it might be further up, so keep tuned for that. Keep it locked and watch this space. And it was a love letter, would you say, to the biggest Super Bowl, one of the greatest Super Bowl ads of all time. It's Coke Zero brand having Troy Polamalu be the one, but you've got Coke brand managers like, oh, they're nicking our stuff. They're just a different company. And, you know, you think it's just a shot-for-shot remake with a younger kid and obviously Troy Polamalu instead of Mean Joe Green. But no, you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, you're not stealing our commercial, Kirk Zero. And then brand managers get tackled by Troy Polamalu, and then they finish the advert and it ends with a da-da-da-da-da. Nice little paying homage to one of the most iconic adverts of all time, obviously the 1 year before the 125th anniversary of Coca-Cola. And obviously Coca-Cola in the Super Bowl is one of them. If Coca-Cola was not there, something must have gone wrong. So yes, at number 36, it's me and Troy, Coke Zero, Super Bowl 43. Number 35, it's Epic Party, Pepsi Next, Super Bowl 47. Now, this is the first one I think I saw before the actual Super Bowl, believe it or not. When I watched it on YouTube, for some reason Pepsi put it on their YouTube channel early. I saw the preview for it and just the insanity leading up to the party, like, you know, jetpacks, I believe, some duct tape, all sorts of insanity. You know, what more could you want? And obviously his parents come home to see this epic party. Oh, they've just been drinking some Pepsi Next, when all hell is breaking loose of this party, and the parents approve, and they're partying on it into the night. So yes, at number 35, Epic Party, Pepsi Next, Super Bowl 47. And at number 34, Sumo, or I Surrender, KGB, Super Bowl 44. You're thinking, why the hell is this on there? How many times have you probably thought that this countdown? This advert, of all adverts? But again, like a lot of them, it's got a bit of sentimental value, especially the ones from 44, 45. I mean, this is one I absolutely love. This was like almost my favourite advert for a long time. It was my favourite advert from Super Bowl 44. You learn a bit of Japanese. Obviously, my countdown a couple of years ago, this was at number, I think this was number 4, I believe. It was on there. Sure as hell was on there. For the question service, their only Super Bowl commercial. And what's I Surrender in Japanese? They had a sumo wrestler coming from. One was browsing the web. One was texting the service. And the guy texting the service got it right and liked it. While the other guy said got the complete opposite and got flattened by a sumo wrestler. Absolutely humorous. Every time I think only one person I think I've ever shown it to has not laughed when I've shown it to them. So obviously it's popular on my friendship group. There you go. And number 34, it's Sumo or I Surrender, KGB, Super Bowl 44. Well, that concludes part 2 of the countdown. Don't forget to come back tomorrow to see part 3, where we'll add another top 10 entries to the list. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, click a like. If you haven't, fair enough. A thumbs down. Don't forget to tell your friends how much of a great YouTuber I am. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I post next, and you'll know when the rest of the series is coming out. Follow me on Twitter at Hawkins_MattUS. And don't forget, if you need some cheer, have no fear. Big Matt Hawk is here.